The subject matter discussed in this presentation begins from personal experience. I am a gun owner. I say that without pride or prejudice regarding gun issue debates and discourse on Second Amendment rights. I state it as a fact. I also have a teenage son who I feel should be educated and exposed to responsible gun ownership and what it means. He has a friend who recently acquired a single-barrel shotgun, and he likes to shoot clay pigeons at a range, and all this is fine and dandy. My issue arises when I start to fear for my safety, and I feel like I need to keep guns secret from my son and his friend. They are good kids, open and honest in communications, good grades, no reclusive or suspicious behavior. In my opinion, they spend a little too much time playing video games, but all in all, I have absolutely no reason whatsoever to doubt them, to worry about them, or fear them. So why should I fear them? I know rationally in my mind that the fear is completely ridiculous, so where does it come from? Why do I have this out-of-place fear? Then it occurred to me, the media. Only in the media does exposure to malcontent, rampaging youths ever enter my sphere of influence. This fear isn't based on any rational, logical reason. It's a manufactured idea resulting from a media environment where seriousness of a crime or incident is what determines newsworthiness. The more serious the crime or incident, the more distorted and exaggerated the seriousness is reported. I don't fear my son and his friend because of anything they did. I fear them because the news advertently or inadvertently implanted it. The frame in which news events are mediated are not designed to simply inform, but to hook and hold the audience. Employing techniques such as scare tactics stimulates jolts per minute. They stimulate responses that attract viewers. Viewers equate to ratings, and without ratings there would be no advertisers, and without advertisers there would be no money. As news information leans towards infotainment, seriousness results in sensationalism. Not limited to broadcast news, in the media environment, fear of crime is disproportionate to actual crime. Fear is correlated to perceptions of risk of victimization, whether personally or someone we know. Distortions that tend to exaggerate the frequency of the seriousness of crime, using seriousness as a criterion for newsworthiness, the media are most likely to report precisely those crimes that are least likely to occur. This means that the amount of time and space devoted to crime has more to do with filling the slot that is allocated to crime by the editors who are responsible for the story selection. Editors typically follow mandates that appeal to target audiences specified by advertisers and marketers. These commercial pressures ultimately dictate what the audience sees, hears, and reads, and every bit of information is filtered through a corporate lens that often reinforces values congruent with the corporate interests. Who do advertisers and marketers work for? It is the big multinational corporate conglomerates and organizations whose primary concern is the profit margin. With an emphasis on generating revenue through advertising and marketing, they find new ways to saturate the local markets with products marked by their corporate brand. The problem with accommodating whatever is the most profitable position is the key functions are tied together by market mechanisms rather than plans and controls. Or more appropriately, the plans and controls are tied to market mechanisms. The for-profit value system generally comes from corporate cultures that foster this priority. So, because news editors face corporate pressures to generate stories that hook and hold audiences, and the seriousness of those stories determine the frequency of time allotted to the story that generates airtime for advertisers, audiences get to experience the personal, psychological effects of propaganda-type techniques directly and indirectly. Viewers are exposed directly to peddled wares for consumption, and directly where there is news, it often takes the form of canned crime that fosters unrealistic and unnecessary fears. Unnecessary fears tear at the solidarity that ties together the social fabric of our communities. Putting an emphasis on other criterions such as importance to public interest and reducing the amount of time and coverage devoted to an incident could greatly reduce the fostering of unrealistic and unnecessary fears. If the whole point of reporting in this fashion is to hook and hold the audience for the sake of accommodating advertisers and marketers, then journalism is reduced to infomercialism, and entertainment has clearly become the dominant form of information gathering. The best way to remove commercial pressures and maintain journalistic integrity would be for the dominant U.S. corporation to employ the advertisers and marketers to convert to a worker-owned cooperative such as Spain's Mondragon Corporation. With more than 80,000 member owners, worker-owned co-ops are the fastest-growing business model. Worker-owned cooperatives provide for equitable distribution of wealth, genuine connection to the workplace, and would ultimately change the emphasis put on seriousness for the sake of newsworthiness and sensationalism. The media environment, like the natural environment, has competitors that dominate and subsist. Worker-owned co-ops would at least level the playing field and provide a positive illumination for the future.